What up? What up? What up? What up? Welcome to another post game live. I am going to be subbing today for Space. Yeah, we just beat the Pistons 112-110 in the game where looked like we probably should have lost. I missed the first quarter. I'm not going to even lie to y'all because I thought that the game started at 7. So I tuned in and we were down already. So I haven't even got a chance to watch what the first quarter was like. But I did get to see, the last 3 quarters of the game, and it was one of those kind of nasty games that the Rockets play when we play really bad teams. I think there was a game, it might have been against Dallas, that was like this, that was just ugly. And then we somehow got the win. But I really don't know what to make of this game. There was a lot of ups and downs, some pretty interesting storylines. One of my favorite being that Aaron Holiday only got 3 minutes in playing in the lineup. Jayshawn Tate got 19 minutes as a starter, which is interesting. Like, why do you start on play sub 20 minutes? Like, you know what I mean? I don't understand that. Reggie Bullock closed the game out, which is also interesting, which I guess he had made 1 3. Was that enough for him to get the nod to start? I'm not sure, but apparently the coaches thought that. So just kind of a weird all around game. I don't know what y'all think, but it was not really enough to really say anything. What I do know is that coming off of the overtime game against Chicago, then playing a Pistons team where we were supposed to basically be chilling our starters in the fourth quarter, going this late and playing to the last minute, yeah, Boston might blow us out tomorrow. So if we keep the game competitive against Boston, then I'd be really surprised. I did hear Coach Udoka drop a little nugget when he said that about with the, I think in the post game thing where they asked him about playing tomorrow. He kind of talked about, guys played a lot of minutes, so he does see it as something that could potentially be an issue. But he says depending on other guys from the bench would help, and also getting some guys back. So there's 2 guys that are out. So he must be alluding to either one of Tari or Dylan coming back. Both guys are on the road trip with the team. So usually if the injury was like that crucial, they stay home and do treatment. So that means one of them is eligible to come back. I would not be surprised if Tari came back tomorrow for Boston because we're going to need him. Our defense today was pretty bad. And the Pistons are not a good offensive team. If you guys haven't seen, they're literally one of the worst teams in NBA history right now. So to be having debatables against Pistons is that's not a good thing, bro. Like Kurt Goldsberry put out a chart that looks at the last 10 game efficiencies for teams. Right now, the Rockets he has these 4 quadrants that he puts teams in. Usually the contenders are going to be to the top right. We've been in the top right for most of the season. Last 10 games, we are at the bottom left of his 4 quadrant chart, which is where the tankers kind of lie. So we've been like a lottery team over the last 10 games, which kind of underlines the importance of Dylan on the team, what he does for the defense. But awful game, man. Jayshawn Tate, 19 minutes, 50%, took 2 shots, 7 rebounds, was a neutral 0. Jabari had 40 minutes, 11 rebounds, 19 points. He had a decent game. I like the fact that he's so active on the boards. I feel like his defense was okay. I think towards the end he made some plays, but overall there was a stretch where Ivy really cooked him. Alperen Sengun, kind of a weird game from him. Loved the offensive, how he closed out down the stretch. Really some big buckets. He was efficient. 63%, had 29 points. In the first, I mean, I think he played okay. The defense was kind of up and down in parts of the game. They were attacking him in the drop, in the mid range, and kind of they put you in a hard position with guys like Jalen Duren because he's a lob threat. So I think IP did a good job boxing him out from the lobs. but that is at the expense of giving up that kind of that middle of no man's land where the guards aren't. And you got to think like if you had guys like Tari Eason as a point of attack defender, Dylan Brooks, those contests aren't from guys like like Jaylen or Tate, right? You're having bigger, stronger, more aggressive defenders playing that screen coverage. So yeah, so that's really underlines the importance of having those guys out there. The defense has really suffered in the screen navigation, which was a strength for the Rockets, right? That was a strength for the Rockets. The screen navigation when the season started, right? So that's become a weakness now because instead of Dylan Tari getting a bulk of guarding point of attack, we have Fred, Tate, Jaylen, uh, Cam Whitmore, Aaron Holiday. So not great point of attack defense. And there's certain guys you could play like Jaylen. I think would be great on guys like what's his name like Trey Young and smaller guards, but with bigger players that are kind of taller than him, he does struggle a bit. But yeah, I think Sengun had a decent game. I think he had a decent game. Jaylen Green had a great first half. The second half wasn't that great. I like the aggression. I think the second half he pressed a bit and got him benched early for pressing a bit. But I think overall it seems like he's still trying to figure stuff out. But when he gets it going, you can see why the team is so high on him, why he's such a gifted scorer. Because like once he's on, he's on. I think it's just developing the maturity to be able to pick your spots and understand. And it goes back to what I said in my previous video about him like knowing like okay, this guy's going, let me get him going. So like he was going in the first half, everybody was getting Jaylen the ball, right? In the second half, he was not going, so he needs to go to the secondary action. Once again, Calvin Murphy said the same thing. And I totally agree with that because that is kind of like IQ, right? You got to concede yourself for the team. And I feel like our team has a bunch of guys who think they're the guy and they don't have an established hierarchy yet. Even Fred, to an extent, he plays over himself, especially in key moments. He does get a little hero ballish. Like everybody wants to be the one to win the game. And to me, that changes on a night to night basis, right? If Jaylen was playing like he was playing in the first half, in the second half, then yeah, give him the ball. Like give him the ball. Let's clear out. Let's learn to attack mismatches. If Sengun was playing like he was playing tonight, then do what they did. Go to him late. And I'm okay with Fred closing out. I'm okay with a guard closing out because usually that's typically what happens because the defense can load up, but you just got to feed the hot hand. You got to feed the hot hand. And I think that a lot of times we're doing too much to like make sure like guys like Jaylen and Jabari get going by taking away from other players. I think Ime Udoka hasn't done a great job of developing an offensive system that feeds everybody. And it's kind of like a one trick, like, okay, if Jaylen is scoring, then everybody just watch. Or if Fred has got it going coming off the screens, or it's a two-man with Alp, everybody just watch. If Sengun is cooking, unless he gets triple team and kicks it out to a three, everybody just watch. But when you watch teams like Sacramento, teams like Denver that have talented big men, you see that even when their big man is going, they put you in so many binds by using off-ball movement, shooting, that multiple guys can hurt you at any given time. And it kind of maximizes the strengths of your post players like Sengun, right? Sengun attacking one-on-one in the post is just like level one of what he can do. Like that's why I think for a fact we need shooting. We need shooting, not just guys that could stand and shoot. I need a guy that can come off a screen and hit shots, right? Give me a movement shooter, get some better spacing out there. Reggie Bullock's in theory is that guy, but in reality, he's not. So that's really what we need to unlock because guys are scoring really tough buckets. And that's cool in Boston when you got Jason Tatum, 5-6 years into the league, and Jaylen Brown and all these vets. But with this team, we have very limited. Aside from Sengun, a lot of guys cannot create their own shots. They're screen dependent, or they have to like use the system to get their shots open. In that case, then we need to develop a way to be able to maximize everybody. as they learn and build on their individual skills. So that's just my opinion. Um, so Jalen, yeah, the 9 of 25, yeah, he shot 36%, 22%. Went to the line 9 times, so it shows the aggression. 28 points. I think we needed every point that he scored. I think he carried the team in the second half. I mean, in the second quarter, he really came to life and kept it a game because we were down big against them. And sometimes that's what it's going to take. It's going to take guys just chip it in where they can. Where you don't want is the second half where the it gets a little like you're pressing, bro. Like relax, okay? Okay, they're playing you different, or you're not doing what you're supposed to do now. Be okay with being part of a team. And I feel like I said, when I say I feel like guys think they're the guy, you could see Shangun wants the ball at certain times. And then Jaylen wants the ball, Fred wants the ball. I'm sure Jabari wants the ball at certain times. They're not playing as a unit. They're just kind of taking turns being good and sucking. So, that's to me, that's what I'm seeing from the offense. It's not cohesive yet. Fred, he started off terribly, but then closed out really, really well. I did like his poise going down the stretch. I think that's what a veteran gives you. You saw the little cut of him talking to Alperen Sengun on the bench, trying to get him going. And then when Alp hit that dunk after Fred gave him a nice pass, you saw him kind of like saying, "I got you." So that chemistry between Fred and Alperen is really there. Um, I need that for the whole team. Like I need guys to like we just have to have more synergy. I just feel so choppy. The offense is really disappointing at this point in the season. Now I gave them a lot of room, but I feel like where they are right now, they should have progressed more. I think a lot of it has to do with trying to figure out why Jaylen is struggling, right? So that kind of because he's theoretically he's supposed to be that's come off the screen guy that we're supposed to have. But now the Rockets are going to go out and get somebody that could do that off the bench or potentially in closing lineups because I don't think they're going to bench JG at this point of his career. But Fred played a good game. Cam, not his best game, shooting wise, not his best game defense wise. You could see where he lacks experience is going to be on his defensive rotations, which is expected. If he'd been playing all season, that would be better now. He just has to play through that, so you don't hold too much on him. Amen Thompson only played 7 minutes. He was a -8. I think this is a game he definitely could have played. I would have put him on Jay Ivey. Jay Ivey was cooking this. Jay Ivey was cooking. Like he was attacking everybody. He had Jaylen fouling him on skates. He had Jabari cooking. He was attacking the rim before Shangun could even get there. He was already there. He was attacked. Fred couldn't stay in front of him, cooking bullocks. So Jay Ivey was on his game. I really like him as a player. I think that if you can get him in a better situation outside of Detroit, dude is going to be a stud. I just don't like Detroit for him. Like I don't think they value him enough. There was a tweet that I saw from one of the reporters saying that Monty Williams was saying he kind of regrets not putting the ball in his hands earlier in the season. Like, bro, what do we duh? Like, I don't get coaches sometimes. Once again, Aaron Holiday, 3 minutes, man. Like, how do you go from a guy playing 20-some minutes to 3 minutes? Like, it's just weird. Jeff Green, 13 minutes, got hurt, got a knee-to-knee thing going. Without Jeff, man, we're in a lot of trouble. Y'all saw the from my video where I said that he's one of our better closers in the closing lineups. He brings in a lot. He adds a lot to the team, and another big loss for us. That's going to be hard to get. And then Reggie Bullock, 1 for 3, made 1 3, and that somehow made Coach Udoka think he could close out the game. I didn't like that because aside from the dream idea of him being a great 3-point shooter, he didn't offer you anything else. Not really. I mean, he had some good. Okay, I'll give him this. He played good team defense, where he would stunt, and you can tell he's a vet because he knows how to like really kind of help and retreat at the same time. So aside from that, like he doesn't give us that much. Doesn't give us that much, but I mean, we got the dub, man. Shooting 26% from three, nasty stuff, man. There was a point in the game I think we were like 18% from three. The Pistons shot 34% from three. We only made 8 threes in 2024. What is going on? What is going on, man? What is going on? But yeah, I'll take the victory. I'm gonna shout out to all the people in the chat. Let's see who we got in here. Let me See if I can work this deal. Shout out to Fluid, Genko, Red Dragon, Ho Ho, Motivational Burst, Simo. These are some of y'all I ain't never seen. Gurhan, uh, Carl Fair, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Yasin was good, brother. Lillis United was good, brother. KDC, Eric Tanovich, Baba Shola was good, bro. Let me see who else we got in here. All the CSGs, go ahead and throw your names in there, bro. Let me go ahead and give y'all a shout out before I put that. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Y'all can come up. What up, Slim Boss? I see you, brother. Yeah, we gotta do another game soon. All right, link is in the chat. What up, Terry? What's good with you, bro? What's good with you? What we got? Nungo, what up, Paul? Zachary saying what's good. Day one. Terry, day one. AI Productions, day one. Howard Man, what's good with you, bro? Ryan C. Free LP, what's up? What up, Free? Larry Etienne, man. Appreciate y'all boys, man. But we got the Pistons game tomorrow. I mean the Pistons. The Boston game tomorrow. That game, the matchups are going to be interesting because they have one of the best starting lineups in the NBA. And you think about, two of the best guard defenders. You got Holiday, Drew, and what's his name, White. So you got White and Holiday, defensive backcourt, probably the best tandem of the defensive back. So that means Fred and Jaylen are going to be in for a hell of a game. Then they have obviously Porzingis on the back end and JB and Tatum. So it's going to be mismatches across the board, bro. Like I always like to look at the starting lineups from each team and see where we can get a win at. So Fred versus let's match him up with Holiday. Who wins that battle? Like I think Holiday's kind of washed right now, so I'm gonna give Fred that. Right. So let's say we get that's one for us. Then you got White, Derek White versus Jaylen Green. Derek White is a better player, so that's a win for them. And their two wings are going to be better than ours. I ain't gonna cap. Like JB and Tatum are better than Bari and Dylan, whoever you want to put there. So they got 3-1 for us. Then Alp versus Porzingis. So for us to win, Sengun is going to have to dominate Porzingis. And I think even though Porzingis is skinny, the dude is he's a tall dude, man, and his length is going to give Alp some issues. I don't see us winning that game. I'm not going to hold y'all. I think that if we win, it'll be a miracle. But we'll see, man. If Tari comes back, this is a game where guys are going to have to be locked in. I do think the Rockets play down to their competition, and they can play up to the competition as well. And on the defensive end, like where we have to guard, they're going to spread us out. You know what I mean? With their team, they can shoot a lot of threes, and they make a lot of threes. And we're shooting what 20, bro? We shot 26% versus the Pistons. It might be a bloodbath. I don't know, but we're gonna see. Ringleader, what's good, bro? What you think about the game, man? Or you could talk about it if you want.
Hey, man, yo, that game stressed me out. That game stressed me out so bad, man. Like I had to leave work early because I was so frustrated. I can't believe even though, like you said, they played down to their opponent, but it just, man, that coach he's stressing me out with the lineup.
Ain't he stubborn, man?
Yeah, oh man, I'm surprised he put Aaron Holiday on the bench, man. I'm glad he put that man on the bench, man. And it's frustrating me. His rotation it's been off, and not only that, I don't know if he just trying to show them what he working with. He can barely work with what he got, but it's like, man, it's like he falling in love with Jeff Green. He falling in love with Tate. He falling in love with these guys, man. That ain't gonna be, man. We can't keep complaining about our bench. We got babies on the bench. We don't got no bench. We got players
Right.
that's trying to develop like Cam, that's gonna have out game nights like this, especially if he ain't the go-to guy. He ain't. It's rare that somebody can get in the groove who barely touching the ball, and Holiday ain't passing him the ball, and Fred Van Fleet he's so trying to be superhero. He coming down making missing crazy shots. It's just like this game was just like Like, oh man, it's like, man, I don't know, man. It's just we need to hurry up and get a bench, man. Even though I like to see people like Cam and oh man, get some burn and try to develop, man. If we keep having these close games, man, we ain't ready. We ain't ready to try to get to that playoffs push. We ain't ready, bro. Because if we would lost this game today 3 in a row, that
It
would
might have. It might. If we had lost tonight, it might have turned to because we got Boston, then we got Monday. We got Philly at Philly. Then I think we got like I forgot who the team we play after. Maybe like the Pacers or somewhere. It could have been looking like a 6 game losing streak, bro, or
hey,
five game losing streak, something like that. So now we needed this game
man, we
bad.
need this game, bro. It's like that game would have knocked the fight out of me a little bit, man. Like to where it's just like, man, come on, man. I be hoping they see what we see, like the general manager see what we see, cause we see what's going on. We see Tate need to be gone. We seeing this. How they not seeing this? Even though it's probably hard to just make moves, but how is this man starting and how is this man even getting broke? Man, it's just like how is Aaron Holiday is getting more minutes than if we gonna do that, if he wanna show Raphael Stone what he working with, he might as well try to develop his young players and just try to lose some and lose some games because it's just like even with veterans like Tate, Jeff Green, Aaron Holiday, we still having hard time trying to trying to win, man. We still having a hard time trying to win. But the only thing that's keeping me fake though, it's crazy because I'm watching other teams and I'm just praying that the Lakers keep losing, bro, because I feel like every year they try to find a way to squeeze the Lakers in the playoffs sometimes. I mean, some type of way they try to squeeze in. I feel like if we stay like close to them, we still got a chance because they try to keep it to where they be in some type of way in the playoffs. But by them keep losing, it kind of like give me a little hope. Like okay, we still pushing it, we still pushing, but we can't go on no losing streak. Like we would have lost today, and would have lost them 6 game winning streak. Went on that 6 game losing streak, like you say. I don't know what to say, man.
Crazy thing, the Jazz, man, the Jazz keep winning. They done clawed themselves up to 19 wins just like us. If we had lost today, we would have been, 19 and or 18 and 19. I think that would have put us under
Yeah,
500
under
or at
500,
500. So
under
yeah, it's
five
crazy.
hundred. Yeah, that would have kind of we would have been it would have been a sad day for us today on this little podcast right today. We would
Nah,
have
y'all
been
wouldn't have seen me, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
nah for
uh,
real. Hey, it was crazy, bro. I said if they lose this game, even if y'all had a podcast, I ain't even gonna get on that mud, man. Cause it's just
yeah,
that would have been a depressing day. We already lost 2 in a row, and then we back door and lose to a team that we supposed to won one of them two right there, and then we end up letting these. It's like they were lackadaisic out there, bro. At the beginning, I'm like, bro, what's going on? Like we starting to look like last year. I hate when I get that feeling that we starting to look like last year. Like ain't no effort, bro. And it just pisses me off, bro.
it really shows the value of Dylan Brooks is a dude that come in locked in every night, and I think he set a tone on the team that like you gotta like he out there, you gotta match his energy. So I think him being out has impacted us more than we think. Obviously, then you got to think about Tari. Somebody give me echo, so y'all gonna mute your mic when. But you think about him being out, and Tari being out. It's not even them just being out. Is then who are you replacing them with? You're replacing them with worse players, right? So it's the double effect of losing great defenders and replacing them. They've been using Tate to replace Dylan Brooks, which is crazy. And then for Tari Eason has been a group between rookies and Aaron Holiday and like Reggie Bullock. So it's those are big, huge losses, especially for a team like us that's not really that deep already. So losing two starting level players is gonna tear up your team. And honestly, you think if we lose a guy like Shangoon, it's curtains, bro. We might as well start just you know what I mean? If Shangoon go down, if Fred go down, it's really over. And I think they're really carrying the team right now. And Dylan was a big part of that. So when he comes back, I think we'll look like the regular team that we were prior to his injury. But it does kind of point out the fact of how badly constructed this team was. Even if you think that KPJ was on the team, this team is still bad the way it's built because Kevin Porter Jr. is not a world beater. Like, yes, he would have helped with shooting and some secondary ball handling, but he is also a player that is going to have to learn how to play in a winning context, being one of the most utilized in the Silas era. So he would probably be going through the same issues Jaylen would be, just probably doing it a little more efficiently than he is. But what up, AK Infinity? What you thought about the game, bro?
Yeah, man. So, man, boy, I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna front. I was sweating a little bit, man. I was really beside myself, bro. I don't like losing, especially not to no team that likes losing. So there's that. But in every game, I like to look at it like this: big picture. What can carry over from this game to the next? What can we build upon? Udoka showed me something this game that I didn't ever think he had in him like that. He really sat Holiday for most of the game. Holiday played 3 minutes. I never thought he'd do that. That's wild. So it looked like he's starting to trust other guys a little bit more. He trusted Reggie this game. You know, Reggie had an okay game. He only hit 1 3, but the game was more about, it's not just about making shots or whatever. He even benched Tate for a lot of that second half, man. I didn't think he was really gonna do that. I mean, he did that the last game too, but I didn't think he was gonna do it 2 games in a row. So it's kind of like he's starting to see who needs to play and who probably can sit down. The only thing is, what does that look like when Dylan and Tari come back? So that's kind of my thing. Another thing too that I kind of want to pay attention to is, I mean, we just played 2 close games back to back. And what did we learn? From the Bulls game in the clutch, we did stupid things to lose the game. We didn't repeat them same mistakes in this game. Sure, we could say it was the Pistons, but the Pistons came to play. This is still an NBA team. I don't really like to disrespect no teams like that. I don't do that. I'm not feeling that. These guys in the NBA, and most of these guys are the same age as your core 6 anyway. So I'm not really trying to hear all that. I don't really care nothing about that. Those are NBA players, there's NBA coaches on the other sideline. Line them up and lace them up and let's go. Because they could have been like, man, that's a good team coming over here. We can just lay it down. Nah, they ain't look at it like that. So we shouldn't look at it like that neither. Let's rock. So from one game to the next, we fixed a lot of them stupid mistakes we was making in the clutch. That's good. LP, I don't know what's going on with his first halves, but his second halves is looking a lot better. I know he put up some decent numbers on the first half, but man, I thought he was getting cucked. I ain't gonna lie. He was getting cucked in that first half by Duran, by Bagley. Man, you getting cucked by Bagley, that's a problem. Because he's not that dude. I'm sorry. Isaiah Stewart, him and Duran, they some tough dudes. But Stewart, he's like a second big off the bench kind of guy. But Sengun showed up in the second half again. We just got to figure out what it is to get him, a little bit more consistent from first half to the second half too. Same thing with Jaylen. He carried us in the first half. Cool. He cooled down a little bit in the second half, but I wasn't mad at none of the shots he took. He didn't take no stupid, like, crackhead shots or nothing like that. Maybe one, but for the most part, it was kickouts. And he was just missing those. That's cool. I live with it. Ain't like he was out there turning the ball over like a fool. Jabari, steady hand all game. His defense, he's officially a defensive demon. Sure, he has his weaknesses. You can body him a little bit, but he a defensive demon now. I love it. I'm feeling that all the way, man. I'm feeling that all the way. But like I said, though, man, the biggest thing for me is what can we carry over? We see how each individual can be successful in spots of the game. Udoka now has to figure out how to cook this meal and make it all make sense together. That's kind of the next step for the team. And he's doing this, he's trusting the young guys a lot more, obviously by force a little bit, but he still could have decided to lean on Tate and Holiday and hell, Landale for that matter. But he chose to play the guys who are hooping the best, and that's cool, man. That's cool. Udoka's still growing too. He's still figuring out his lineups. I don't know if you saw what Monty Williams just said about Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, I saw that. That dude. Yeah, that's
But that goes to show you these coaches, man. They have a way that they want to do things, and then sometimes it's just hard for them to let go unless they're forced to. When you force their hand, sometimes that's why sometimes a GM got to force a coach hand. You got to remove some of them crutches.
Yep.
Take them, put them on another team, and be like, all right, now you got to play this guy. Let me see what your excuse is now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. I think with coaches, they get so tunnel vision in the season that we honestly fans could see stuff that is real that coaches miss. And it could be for multiple reasons, whether they're stubborn, they have their agendas that they like a guy, or they
Yeah.
just don't see it because they are so bogged down with the game to game practices. And you as a fan that you watch every minute of every game from a TV, you got the skybox view where you could see all 5 players from the sky, and the TV broadcast view, and you collecting all this data. They might not have a chance to see that. And sometimes it takes for them to like sit down and review stuff with their team and be like, damn, Tate playing that bad?
It could be a practice thing too.
Yeah, it could be practice. Yeah,
practice.
maybe carry over to practice. But I think obviously the Rockets have an analytics department, so he gets all those numbers and he can see at some point in time. I just know for a fact that coaches are very patient with bad data. What I mean by that is they're not going to react like we do. Like, damn, bro,
for sure.
Aaron Holiday, 2 bad games, get him out. But like 5 games, okay, 10. Nah, it's a trend. They'll get you out of there at some point.
I understand doing it with the young guys though, giving them a bit of a longer leash because they kind of need it. They need that floor time. They need to burn some. They need to hit their head against the wall and understand how bad it hurts. Okay, I hit my head against this tree. That hurts. But if I hit my head against this ironing board, it don't hurt as bad. Or if I hit my head against the car door, damn, that hurt bad too. Like they gotta keep hitting their head until they figure out to stop hitting their own head. They only gonna get that experience by getting the reps on the court, which is, is what we're doing for the most part. It's really crazy that we're playing 6 guys on the rookie deals right now. That's at the moment. That's crazy. Like I think we sometimes forget that. We forget that a lot. We got 6 guys on rookie contracts, and they all in the rotation right now. Well, except Tari because he hurt, but still, even 5. Let's say 5. Take Tari out the picture. 5. That's still crazy.
No, I think what's even more amazing is the fact that of our starting 5, 3 of them are like 30 or younger players. I think people forget that even with and that starting 5 was one of the better starting 5s in the NBA. So that's something that I've tracked, over the season. Is that when I do my little update videos of 15 games, I always put the numbers for that starters. But I want people to understand that 3 of those dudes were playing for Steven Silas just the year before, being one of the worst teams in the league. And I think we get bogged down in the game-to-game minutia. But I think we're at 19 wins now. In about 3 wins, we won 22 last year. Or was it 20 last year? It was 22?
22, I think it was 22.
Okay, in 3 wins, we would have tied our last year's win total, and we ain't even at the 40-game mark yet. Or are we? Yeah, we haven't even reached 40 games yet. So
can't tell from that Twitter discourse, though.
I know, right?
Like we got the Pistons record. That's what it sounds like.
Well, Twitter's not a real place.
It ain't.
I put a tweet out saying Jaylen Green had a good first half. People was arguing with me like he shot 9, bro. I said a man had a good first half, like a half, bro. Like y'all can't read. It's I didn't say he was Michael Jordan. I didn't say he a Hall of Famer. I said he had I can't even give Jaylen a compliment anymore, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's to that point.
He struggles, yes, and yes, he's bad on something. Yeah, we could probably do better, but I think people lose the script sometimes. Like if Jaylen doesn't work out, like that's a huge blow to our franchise for years, because and you've seen it happen with Wiseman and the Warriors. Like when you miss out on a top 5 pick, it takes you back so many years. And even though you may not feel it right then and there, but the cost investment of not hitting on that, and the inverse of not getting a player that you would have got that's better in that position. The fact that you could have done more by whatever, all of that compounded is a huge loss to a franchise. And I'm saying all that to say that the Rockets are not going to give up on Jaylen Green in 40 or 30 some games. Like, yes, he is bad. He plays bad sometimes. He plays good sometimes. But I think the diligent thing to do, and I don't always agree with starting him, and I'm okay with Ime benching him. That's fine.
Yeah,
But the thing about Jalen that's different from Aaron Holiday, he gonna get another shot because he's the second pick, and they've invested a lot in him. It'll be better for the Rockets for him to work out. Honestly, I just think his issues are inability, like his skill set just needs to improve, and he needs to just keep working and you can't learn a lot of those skills that he needs in the middle of the season. Like, he's not going to get a tighter handle like just because he played against Detroit and had a good half. So you just have to kind of scale out and see, okay, what can he actually do to improve, and what does that look like? And there's still a player in there that could be a really, really high elite scorer in the NBA. And the Rockets have to find Email Doka has to make it work. That's his job. Like, we just don't give up on players like that. That's not how it works in the NBA.
I mean, to me, it looked like if you compare how he's been playing since, let's say, since January to that December, man, we'll take this January for sure over that December, because if he's playing December,
but that's a low bar though. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. That's a low bar. But yes,
yeah. But if he's playing December like he's playing in January, we get at least 2 more games. We win 2 more games.
He's playing better. He's playing much better.
Yeah,
I think the aggression is better. He's doing what I've been asking. Is attack the basket. He gets to the free throw line. It does good things. The next thing is, like, you have to think of it like baby steps. Okay, now he's taking the types of shots. Now he has to pick when to take those shots. So that's going to be the next step. But all that comes with feeling confident and uncomfortable. Jalen his confidence is low right now. So you can see somebody, I don't know, I think Ringleader, you said about Sengun in the first half. What I've noticed is they make a concerted effort to get Jabari and Jalen going early, because Fred and Sengun know they close. So it's like Sengun is almost treating Jalen like a little brother. Like, I let him get his now. I'm gonna fall back. I'm gonna try to get these guys shots. But when it's money time, Fred gonna hold that rock, and he's gonna run that 2-man pick and roll, and that's what they're gonna cut you with. And that's perfectly fine. And I think a lot of times people see that like as a negative, but sometimes players need to be protected. If we just threw Jalen out there to close out every game and he goes 9 for whatever, 9 for 30, people are going to start calling him a buzz. So it's okay. Like, he's just learning in the shadows. He's getting better. You got to look at the little things. I'm not saying he's great or anything, but I just think that big picture wise, we want Jalen to be successful. And I think everybody needs to start with that premise. And then when he plays bad, talk about him playing bad. But when he plays good, give him his kudos for playing good. When he puts together a 5-game,
that's not allowed, bro. We're not allowed to give no credit now.
Well, it goes both ways, because you can't compliment or say anything bad about any player on the team, because people are gonna. But it's just, I just think people we want Jalen to be successful. If he's not, it's gonna hurt us really, really bad.
For sure,
really bad.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah, but like you said though, big picture. I'm looking at what's trending. If he's trending upward right now, if he's ticking upward, cool. If you remember historically, in his rookie season and sophomore season, when the calendar changed, his game did too. And then once the All-Star break hit, after that, he looked like himself. I don't know why it takes him so long, but that's what it is right now. There's been some players like that in history that were kind of like that too, but I'm looking at it from that point of view. Like,
if his scoring gets more efficient, I guess that's good. I honestly think, like, regardless of whether his point totals are, that doesn't really move me, because like, it's just like him getting hot or he's shooting good. I think the stuff that he needs to get better is stuff that he can only do in the off season, which is get bigger and work on his craft. And that's pretty much, I know it sounds like reductive and simple, but that's really it. Like, he just has to get, like, his body, he's too slight of frame to not have a elite skill set. So what I mean by that is, a lot of guys that are smaller usually have, like, they're more skillful with the ball. They can dribble better. They can probably get to spots better. So he's more a guy that lean on his athleticism early. But in the NBA, that athleticism, even though it's still elite, is not elite enough to deal with the length of some of these players that he has to go against. So he's small and his bag isn't wide enough to be able to make up for that size difference. So how do you address that? Get bigger and expand your game out. And I think those are realistic things. It may take this summer and another summer, but you just let him. To me, the Rockets don't lose on Jaylen until if we give him a max contract and he's trash. That's when okay,
Yeah.
we made a big mistake. If he getting paid as a role player and he turned out being good, okay. If he getting paid as a role player and he's bad, you're okay. You have a guy on your roster that you can at least he can score. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that the discourse about him is kind of weird at this point. The same thing with the Shangoon discourse is like Alperen
Careful.
is nah. I mean, the channel know me. Y'all know. I mean, nobody can tell me. I was one of the first people on Rockets content creators that made a video talking about what Alperen Sengun could be. The one where I called him Baby Pau Gasol. So nobody could tell me anything. Like I think some of the new people come on. If I say Alpie had a bad game, it's like, oh, why do you hate
Yeah,
him?
you hating. Yeah.
Like, bro, I've been making content for this man. In fact, the first video we made on this channel that really popped off was the one I made with the Pau Gasol when I was talking about him and Jaylen with the Kobe and Pau thing because I saw a lot of Pau Gasol in this game. So I don't care either way. I'm gonna talk about basketball. Like there are
For sure.
things, yeah, and but Şengün is the best. He the best player on the team. I think that to me, what he needs to do is understand that. I don't know if it's a cultural thing with the European players because we had even with like Yao, he has the same issue where like you got it, bro. Get aggressive, like you the man, bro. Play like it, like come out and be dominant from start to finish. Like the team needs him to do that. And I don't want halftime speeches to be able to be the thing to dictate how he plays every game. Like, come into the game. I know he's 21, but guess what? So is Luka. Luka was 18, 19. So if he's as great as we all think he is, then age is not an excuse for him because Ja is out there in the playoffs at 21 or however old he was. Anthony Edwards is out there. Like, that comes with the territory of being a great player. You have to know this. And I know Fred is trying to get him there. I think there's a little dynamic between him and Jaylen Green in the hierarchy of the team that they need to figure out. And I think that's why their games aren't complementing each other enough for me right now. Like, I think they're playing in vacuums, which to me, they have to learn to, and I think it's more on Jaylen than Şengün because Şengün has always been the supplemental player to Jaylen scoring. Jaylen needs to learn to be a supplemental player to Alp scoring so they can feed off of each other. And I think because of the roles being changed, of Alp now being like a all-star candidate, as a young guy, Jaylen probably like, damn, bro, like so I think that's why he presses sometimes. Because not in a selfish way. I think he's doing it out of like, I want to help too. Like I want to be part of the reason we're winning. And I think it's just something they got to figure out. Because we're not going to be a good team with just Şengün just being good. We drafted all these dudes. They all have to hit, especially that number 2 pick. He is the highest pick on the thing. So if he can't figure it out, then that's on him.
Now,
That's the challenge. He got to figure that out. Like, how do I? And that's on Coach Udoka too. They got to come up with a system. They got to come up with something to make that too. Because Fred is just a training wheel right now for us. That's all that man is. He's just a crutch. At some point, we got to take them wheels off, and these young dudes are going to be the ones carrying us. So, so they just got to figure it out.
We got to remember too that man Jaylen been the alpha his whole life up until now. From a personality standpoint, well, up until I wouldn't say his rookie season really because KPJ. But for the most part, his whole career, from a basketball point of view, he's usually been the guy. And this is really his first time playing with a bunch of people older than him, number one. Number two, is really his first time playing with a coach who is demanding him to do more than just put the ball in the hole. Like he said in the offseason, I need Jaylen to be more well-rounded, and Jaylen accepted that. So to me, I was thinking something else, but what it's looking like in reality is Ime probably knocked him down a peg, trying to strip him down, get the other parts of his game, up to par. because the scoring is going to be there. Even if he's inconsistent for now, that's going to come right back around because that's what he does. He's a scorer. But it's the other parts of his game that weren't contributing to winning. Like they just wasn't even there. Like you can see him crashing the glass more. You can see him fighting a little bit harder on defense. He still has his warts on that end, off ball especially. But
Yes.
he's trying. Like he's trying. His body language has been better as of late as well too. So I think he's got the right infrastructure. He's got the right environment to that's gonna be good for him long term. It's just not looking like it right now, and that's fine. I tell people all the time. My little analogy is this: if you ever had gumbo in a microwave, or you had it in that big iron cast pot that grandma got, they taste different. They're not gonna taste the same. One of them was, 6 hours, in the pot, steaming and cooking, and all the flavors marinating and marrying and having a big old little flavor orgy in there. The other one is
Damn, bro,
just
you hungry?
microwave. My bad. The other one is just microwave gumbo. Which one you think? The one from the freezer at Walmart, or the one that was cooked in grandma's big old pot in the backyard under that wood? One of them gonna taste better. They're not gonna taste the same. So, but right now, if you watch how the ingredients are getting put in the pot, they're not looking all that appetizing at first. But take that cover off their pot in after 6 hours, 7 hours.
Hey,
What it look like appetizing. So,
Yes,
got to take a
that's
little bit of a patient approach with him because he's had the least amount of structure in his life. Jabari at least got an NBA daddy, so that's cool. LP, you know how they coach in Europe. That's different. Cam, he just came from Villanova under a new organization. His game. We can get to his game a little bit later. Amen Thompson, he's older coming into the league. Tari made it to the NBA coming off as a six man on his team. Like he was their best player coming off the bench. So Tari is used to taking a step back. Jaylen is the one guy who's always been told, from his whole life, he's the man, he's the man, he's the man. Right now, he's not the man, and he's having a crisis of conscience. But he's got the right infrastructure right now to rebuild himself and come out better on the other side. So I have confidence in that. Even John Lucas was saying, yeah, it's going to be his fourth year. It's not going to be his third year, which is fine. Because if you really look at it, the third year leap thing is not really as what people be thinking it is. For especially guards, it's that fourth year where they really pop off. So
I mean I think I did a thing about the third. It is real. There are a lot of great players that came on their third year. Some of them take a little bit longer. I think the two guards probably they do marinate for some time because it's such a niche position because it requires scoring, and scoring requires a lot of skill development and body development, and that usually doesn't come in for as where other players come in more naturally ready to impact the NBA. That's why the guys like Anthony Edwards are anomalies, as far as with and Cam Whitmore, those body types that could score. They have a higher impact early. Like I said, with Jaylen, it's really just going to come down to how he plays. But ringleader, you was about to say something, bro?
yeah. How much do Jalen weigh?
man, they say
Like
he 195, but
170,
I think that's cap.
183 or something. I think that's what it said at the start of the season. 180 something. He's in the 180s.
It's
Let me
just,
double check that right quick. I'm on line right now.
yeah, because it just seems as though y'all don't be scared when he driving to the wreck. Like it's
He
like gonna be
186. They got him listed at 186.
yeah, because it's like it's easy to script the ball from him.
That's
It's
his
easy,
hands. He got little hands.
it's easy to like badly bump him. He fly. It's just like that style of play that he be trying to do, like score under contact. I never really see him get an N one like that, bro. And the crazy thing about it, he continue. I don't know if that's the part of aggressiveness that we looking for, but I don't like to see players fumbling, driving to the rack, or getting pushed around trying to lay the ball up. It makes it feel like you just running like to the rim and don't have no no mindset of how you gonna finesse and try to score and get the N one. It's just like it's easy to predict his way of when he drive to the rack. Like he he ain't got no acrobatic or nothing. It's just like it's just like today he got stripped a couple times, and
Mhm.
every game I see him driving to the rack, he either gonna get knocked out the air, he gonna get stripped, the ball gonna go off his leg. Like I, I just I don't
Though,
know. He need to
Yeah,
get
he
the weight
go up
room or
strong, and a
something.
lot of time he like to do that whole one hand thing, trying to get some highlight dunk off, and he got to grow out of that. That's part of being young. These dudes keep on trying to be on Sports Center top 10. Say, man, take the 2 points and live.
yeah, I think it's like I said, it's come down to strength and skill. Um, the being able to like euro and do all that stuff, that's just reacting to the defenders. And he, like I said, he's just been a player that has used athleticism to really lean on more than his skill. He has skills now. I'm not saying he can't like dribble the ball like at all, but when you're weak and small and you're going in the paint, and somebody got to echo. I don't know which one of y'all it is, but when you're weak and small, you got to go in the paint against them trees, man. You got to have the shoulders and the muscles to be able to like to body. And you've seen a little bit in the Chicago game where he used the shoulders to push some guys off. He's not built to do that over and over again, like James Harden or Luca, or and he doesn't have the skill set of a John Morant, where a slider frame player like Jaylen, but who is more like a ballerina when he goes to the basket because he can contort his body, he can do the scoop layups and all that. So it's just, I mean, I think it's really how much skill can he add over time is really going to determine his success as an NBA player. And I don't have it where I think a lot of people get mistaken when they talk about any of our players. Is like it's either they're going to be this all-star, all-world, all-NBA player, or they're a bust. There's outcomes for Jaylen where he's just a good starting two guard, or he comes off the bench as a good NBA player where he plays 15 years as a guy that's just a good player that teams just want to come and score. There's an outcome where he is a borderline all-star. There's an outcome where he's an actual all-star. There's an outcome where he's a super. Like it doesn't have to be. That's why I keep saying like you as the Rockets. Obviously, we want him to be like the best player he can be for the sake of our franchise. But if Jaylen Green is just damn, next year he comes in, he's better than this year. Um, but let's say the Rockets get signed like a big free agent scorer, and he takes Jalen's spot, and Jaylen goes to free agency, and the market is 22 million or something like that for him, 23 million. And we match that. And he could still come in on some get nights, give you 30 points. I mean, yeah, okay. We got a guy that you could trust to come in and start. Sometimes he could play. That's just that's not ideal. The point is that there's multiple outcomes before you get there. And I think it would be impatient and it wouldn't be prudent for the Rockets to just say, oh yeah, we trading them. Like, oh yeah, we
Okay,
like
okay. Speaking on that, how often have you did the numbers on how often do teams get rid of a bad pick, like say, especially the top three pick? How long do teams normally give a top three pick time to develop before they just like, yeah, we made a
you
mistake, it's
the
time to
first
move
contract.
on?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's, you got
it's
4 years.
rare. That Wiseman trade that's a rare thing, man. You got to think. One is embarrassing for the GM. Two, because it's an admission of incompetence, right? Like you basically wasted your franchise's pick at that level. Like, and the only reason that the Warriors and you see he stepped down, but the only reason they don't get embarrassed because they won a championship. That stuff covers a lot of stink about their drafting. But for teams that aren't champions, like that, giving up on a number two pick is a career killer for a general manager. Like as soon as you do that, your time is done. Like if Jaylen is a bust, bro, Stone is gone. Like because so there is a lot invested. That's one aspect of it. Number two is you have to wait out to see because leading up to their second, third, fourth year, you've invested so much in them, whether it's playing time, development, blah blah blah. You've ignored other players that you could have put in that position. You have to see it through that first contract. That contract is really going to determine whether they really go. Most players that high are going to be the ones that make it through. Now there have been cases where guys are just flat out bust. Like what's the dude that the Cavs are drafted? I forgot his name. He played on the Rockets for like a hot second. But anyways, guys like that just come into the like how Kwame Brown wasn't as bad as they made him seem. But when you just come in, you can't play in the NBA, bro, and you that bad, that's a bust. But Jaylen, it was first team all rookie, like one of the bright young stars in the last year in the league. Yes, he's struggling this year. But that's you just gotta wait it out, man. I don't think there's been enough to say either way, like, oh, he's gonna be the franchise player or to move on. I think he's just in a state of limbo right now. And you wait till the first, once that as money comes, then you can make a clear decision. That money gonna decide everything.
I
Hold
think
on,
he was
real
talking
quick,
about Anthony Bennett.
we got a super chat from Dixie Wrecked. Said not necessarily Toronto won a chip after the Wiggins pick. Toronto won a chip. Toronto drafted Wiggins?
Cleveland drafted Wiggins.
No, Cleveland did.
Yeah, Cleveland
Maybe they talking about a
14.
different thing. Yeah, I'm not sure. Hey Dixie, clarify that for me. Okay, bro just wasted $5. Bro threw $5 to be wrong about the team to draft. I appreciate the $5 though, bro.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you was talking about Anthony Bennett. And funny enough,
yeah.
second pick in that same draft in 2013 was Victor Oladipo. He wouldn't be considered a bust to me.
Nah, he wouldn't. He had a good career, and that could be a Jaylen outcome.
Right.
A guy that, maybe 6-7 years down the line, he crack an all-star game. You know what I mean? Like maybe the Rockets do trade him, and he crack an all-star game after he gets a different
what
life.
happened with Oladipo.
Right. So it's Aaron Gordon a second pick, ain't he?
Aaron Gordon?
Yeah, on Denver. I think he is. Or
he was a top 3. He was a top
something
3
like that.
pick.
Yeah, he a hot pick. Like I said, it don't always look LeBron. Like it don't always look pretty. Like a lot of these dudes, the Wiggins of the world, they just turn out to be just really good NBA players that just help teams win.
And that's
usually though, I ain't gonna hold you. It's not on the team that drafted them.
Yeah, that's true. And that's the unique thing about our situation is, I'm not gonna say that's the best outcome, but we have enough stock, we have enough good young talent to where it won't really hurt us as bad as it would somebody else. Let's say if they didn't draft well outside of the lottery. We have evidence to show that we probably drafted better outside the lottery than in the lottery. I don't believe so, but some people can make that argument. But
right now, yes. Right now, that's definitely. And Sengun was doing a lot of heavy lifting on that argument.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but Tari too. Shout out to Tari Eason, bro. Sure. Tari is a goon, but I still think Jabari has a higher upside than Tari.
Jabari got a higher. Jabari upside is. I don't think people even understand what his upside is, man. His upside is stupid.
He a 20 and 10. That's his upside. That's a middle outcome to me. Like to me, he gonna be like what's his name? The dude that played in San Antonio and Portland. I'm blanking tonight. It's a long week. What's his name, bro? What's dude name? That got the little pull up jumper. Chat, y'all know he played in Portland for a while. Aldridge, LaMarcus.
Oh, yeah. LaMarcus Aldridge. Yeah,
bro. Just efficient. 18 and 12, and just play good defense. 18 and 12. That's a championship player.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I think too with Jabari, it made some of it has to do with his body type too. Like he still got to fill out. I keep saying when that man get his man body, it's game over. It's gonna be game over because now the one way you can take advantage of him on defense, not no more. And then if you try to switch on him, now he can back these guys. Now he don't have to always shoot a fadeaway over him because he ain't stronger than even a point guard or a shooting guard. So it's gonna be real difficult to handle once he get I want to say 10 or 15 more pounds of muscle on him. Then we really gonna start seeing what he made of.
Now you got to remember, I'm not saying he's gonna be Giannis or anything, but if people remember how bad Giannis was at basketball when he came in the NBA,
it was funny. He was drafted 15th, by the way.
Yeah, he was a 15th pick, but just a skinny dude, could barely dribble. Shot was bad. Like he just I'm not saying he Giannis. I'm just saying the frame, but you could see Giannis had the frame. And so Jabari got the shoulders to put on muscle. Like you could tell by the little gap in the shoulders that he can gonna put it on. Then you look at his dad was kind of big himself. So that's his genetics is gonna kick in at some point. And I think even with Giannis didn't have a handle. He just bulldozed people. Jabari already starting to do that 2, 3 steps, and he at the basket already. He just ain't strong enough and skilled enough to finish. But to me, strength and skill development, like making layups and drawing fouls, you can develop that over the years. Like there's been so many players in the NBA that as they get stronger and work out in the summer, like they get better. That's not uncalled for players to get better. So what you look at is what can a player do naturally that is God gifted that makes them a problem as they are. And this applies to Jaylen Green as well. Like they have certain Jabari's is going to be his shot release, his height, his length. So that's a natural God-given ability that he has. So then you add the skills of strength and development over time with that height, length, and shot release, then you can project out to see, okay, I can see this. With Jaylen Green, the first step, the speed, the athleticism he has, what is strength and skill development with that he already has that puts pressures on defense? What does that look like? The only barrier to that is going to be how dedicated these players are and how much they can learn. Because and that's all it is, work ethic at that point. So basically, what Stone and the Rockets are going to bank on for all their young players is their work ethic. When you're drafting that high up in the lottery, it's about the work ethic. All the great players, Harden, that's in the league right now, LeBron, Jimmy Butler, KD, all of these, Kyrie Irving, Luka, all of these dudes are tireless workers. They outwork every player, every other player. The great players work harder than the not so great players, and that's what it comes down to. They're maniacs about their craft, and that's why when I heard that podcast with Sengun, because I didn't know what he was doing all summer. I thought he was back in his country, but I heard this man was in Cali the whole summer working out in a gym. He said he stayed up in the gym. He said he only went to LA one time, spending over a month in California, hour or so down the road. But to me, that's different. And I know Jabari locked in the gym in the summer. Jaylen this summer, he was working out the whole summer. I think Jaylen thought stuff was sweet. I know I made a big deal about when he was when he was a rookie, there was a point where he was doing all these tours, promotional tours, and then he would like work out with his trainer as he was on the road. And I was like, bro, nah, that's not it. Like, I don't give a damn. And he put a little Instagram thing. He says, oh, wherever his game always go. No, bro, the people you trying to take food off the plate, they locked in the gym. You gotta let your game dictate where that bag take you. So he didn't make the main thing, and I think it hurt him. And he, you know what I mean? So you gotta to be at that level, bro, you gotta outwork LeBron James. And that's how these young guys, they think it's sweet. It's grown men out here that's trying to destroy you. You're not gonna be one of the best players in the league if you're not matching their work ethic. And I think that's something that I think Fred is going to teach him. That's why having vets is a good thing. But we're banking on work ethic over these years. Can Jabari keep progressing? The leap Jabari has taken from year 1 to year 2 is 1,000%. So what does that look like next year and 2-3 years from now? Jaylen,
he's been nice, man.
Right, and it's just stuff like that. Hey. So unless he's lazy, man, that's you know what I mean. He should get better.
None of them guys strike me as guys who've been lazy though. Like when you hear how they get spoken of by other players, you can tell that these dudes is working too. Especially Jabari. I don't doubt for a second that man working. His daddy would probably elbow him in the side of the head. People hit him with the people's elbow if that boy even try to get lazy.
But I know his dad happy, bro. Seeing him with Coach Udoka, because I don't know. If I had my son with Steven Silas, bro, I would have had an aneurysm, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
Man, boy, let's not even go. I don't even want to touch that because we see Detroit, but we ain't gonna go there.
Yep. Ringleader, you was about to say something, bro?
Yeah. So you think who will go first out of Stone or Jaylen? Who got a better chance of whose seat is who got the hot seat right now out of them two?
Oh, that's Stone all the way.
Stone
not even gonna trade his guy. It's gonna be the person who replaced Stone to even move Jaylen. That's pretty much how it's going.
Yeah, yeah. Stone like the band at the Titanic, bro. He gotta if this crash out, he gonna go down with it. Yeah, it's Stone. I think right now people that got probably Ime is got a better position than Stone right now. I think Jaylen is not as great positioned, but he's not. I don't think like Stone would trade him because, like I said, if the moment Stone trades Jaylen Green, bro, it's probably just a matter of time for he gone. So I think a best case scenario for Rafael Stone is that Jaylen works out. He can take credit for Shangun working out. Tari Eason becomes a good role player. Jabari works out, and then he can rest on that and say, "Hey, I drafted all these great players for you, and this is work. I did what I was supposed to do over this rebuild." So if Jaylen doesn't work out, it does complicate things because then you get like, I mean, think about this situation we're in right now with Shangun being as good as he is. This is a monkey wrench in the Rockets' plans, bro. I don't think the Rockets even expected this level from him, which is wild. To me, kind of speaks to your player assessment. But like this is a monkey wrench for them because, and it's not even interesting yet. If Jaylen struggles next year, man, it's really going to be interesting because then you get into talking money. When we talking money, all that potential stuff out the window, bro. That's why I'm telling y'all, like, nothing really moves anybody until it's time to talk money. When that paper up in the conversation, it gets real. Then that's when you'll like, okay, like they don't care about what Jaylen's outcomes. They just want to pay him based on what the market says a player at his value and production makes. So there's really no right now. The most important timeline for Jaylen Green is next trade deadline. That's it. So all
Yeah,
this like this summer don't mean nothing for him. This trade deadline, people thinking they about to trade Jaylen, that's crazy. It's going to be next trade deadline because at that point you start getting a feel for is Jaylen going to want to re-sign, what rate? Because they're the agent talks are already going to start. What rate? What is the number that he wants? What do they think the market can give him? Do they move him to try to get something back if they think he's going to walk because they don't want to match it? Those type of conversations happen, or are they going to match it? Is it going to decent? Can they negotiate? And then Shangun as well. Shangun, he's going to want a number, and if he does make this All Star team this year,
he
even
get
as a reserve, yeah, you got to give it to him,
yeah.
and that means he deserved it. So if he gets you, then you give him that number. Then now you stepping into with Jaylen. Then you got Jabari's class coming up the next year after that. Jabari might want a number. I don't know what Jabari's number. Maybe Jabari have a breakout season. Like you don't know. And then Tari Eason's right there. I think Tari is probably going to be the one that gets the squeeze.
Nah,
I
nah,
have a
nah,
feeling, bro. This is me, just my superstition. I feel like we're going to lose Tari
Nah, I don't think he'll
in
be
this
the one
shuffle.
though.
I think so, bro. I think he's going to be that James Harden, not maybe like turn into MVP, but that player that was always just really good and helped us out a lot, but they just didn't value him enough. And he's gonna go somewhere and actually like turn up a little bit more. So
Nah, the one that I think gonna go is one of them. It's gonna be one of them guards. It's gonna be either a man, Jaylen, or Cam. One of them.
oh, I ain't even
Sengun
talking
going.
about a man in them class. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah, right. But if somebody had to be gone, I say it'd be one of them guards, just because it's a guards league, and you're not gonna max out nobody who not a max guy. You know what I mean? Unless they're
dude,
all
these
max.
GMs, bro. These GMs be on crack sometime when it comes to like their guys, bro. Like people really take pride in trying to make that. Why you think Tate's still playing, bro?
Oh
You feel
gosh.
me? Like it to me that'd be to me if we give Jaylen Green a max contract, he doesn't deserve it. Then we failed as a franchise, and that's my only marker for that. Is like you have to pay guys what they're worth, and what they're worth could vary. That's why I don't care about. People think he automatically deserves it. He might. Maybe next year he turns into an all-star player, but you pay guys what they're worth. And I think Stone so far, aside from his the free agency this year, with the contracts he's made with like Tate, the one he had with Kevin Porter Jr., he seems reasonable, right? The Tate contract was reasonable at the time
Yeah.
he made it, and it may benefit him this year as a trade, just a salary. Um, the KPJ contract, I understood it, even though I didn't agree that I think he kind of like overplayed his hand there. but I understood the contract as far as the way it was negotiated because you're basically betting that okay, I can get this guy straightened out if I get a real coach in here. He already showed me he's pretty good. What does he look like at 24 years old? Yeah, that's a good bet. And then if he does hit, you have him under contract, a good contract for years out. If he flops, you can cut bait. You might take a little L, but at least you gave yourself a chance. So understood that. So Stone has shown an affinity to not go crazy. Now the Fred VanVleet contract, you know what I mean? We could discuss the Dylan Brooks. Seems like he's over. Dylan is earning his contract right now. Um, but I trust him in that. Like if he's from the Morey school of thought, he's not gonna throw a dude money just because he likes him. Like that's to me, that's where it gets real. Like I could like, oh yeah, that's my guy. I love him. Let's get him some PT. Yeah, but when it comes to that paper, yeah, it get everybody cutthroat at that point. So yeah, it'll be interesting, man.
I think
It'll be interesting this next season when we got to make these decisions.
even with the Fred contract, it's gonna come off the books at around the time one of the young guys' contracts is supposed to come up. So you can decide to pick up that third year team option if one of these guys still show that they're not ready quite yet. And then come that trade deadline, just doing some forecasting, come that trade deadline, it could be a situation where, okay, these young guys, or maybe it's a man, maybe it's Jaylen, whoever it is, then you could be like, all right, Fred, it was nice knowing you, but these guys is ready. It's time to take off these training wheels and let these guys cook. It could be a situation like that. Even with even with Jaylen could go all the way until he's forced to play on his restricted free agent money. The tender, he could be forced where he play on that tender offer to try to, if he shows at that point, hey, I'm ready for this max deal. All right, cool. Then you can pay him. But if he's like, nah, y'all ain't want to pay me when y'all ain't want to pay me, at least he'll be good enough. That's at least the hope is he'll be good enough to where you can trade him, you can move him at the deadline and grab something back of value for him. So the way these contracts are all set up, I'm not really even too much worried about none of these contracts.
Yeah,
I think Dylan is a guy who's probably going to stay through the rebuild, in my opinion.
He might. I think with Tari Eason and with Cam, it gets a little interesting. I honestly think Cam, he reminds me of Kevin Porter Jr. as far as like the work ethic. One thing I'll say about KPJ is the dude worked hard.
Yeah,
he may not have applied it in the right context on the basketball court all the time, but when I talk about a gym rat, KPJ was a gym rat. That's all he does is hoop and train. So I think Cam has that quality as far as a guy that he's going, when you don't see him, just know he's in some gym somewhere working on something. So I think, that's going to be a real thing. I think Amen Thompson is going to take time. The good thing about the new CBA that it allows you to be more flexible with your contracts. And then now with the ability to give the non-designated rookie, so meaning that we're going to have Sengun may get the designated offer, which is
5 year, right? Yeah,
5 years. But now you can give regular rookies 5 years too. So that's an extra incentive that they could use as a tool to maybe have a creative contract that maybe backloaded based on projected performance, or you could even do it where you just give a guy more money than the market could offer them and say, hey, like, yeah, you could test free agency. And I know you don't want this, like Jabari, I know you don't want this. You think you're worth more than 30 mil, but man, we giving you 5. That's 150, bro. And, it's, somebody, maybe the market.
I think you cut out there, Frank. Yeah.
Offer is 3 for 33 or whatever.
I hear you now.
You can hear me? Okay, I don't know what happened. But yeah, guys like security. So there's ways that could get creative with it. But I think Fred is a 2+1. So you could see, there's no sound?
I can hear it in the rest stream. I'm not on the YouTube stream.
Can y'all hear me on YouTube? Chat, y'all can hear me? Moderators sleep. Okay, let me see. Ain't nobody moderating right now. Yeah, we gotta get y'all right. Oh, okay. Thank you. All right, but Yeah, I think you can get creative with the contracts. You can do some things that give guys a little. Okay, we'll give you an extra here, extra there. But Fred with that 2+1, he's basically next year he could technically be an expiring contract. But I think they keep Fred honestly because yeah, I think they keep him if he wants to stay. I don't know if he might want to restructure his deal to make it less money, but give him more security over the years. I think Fred is a guy that hopefully he ages gracefully, and if there's a better young guy than him, he can fall back. But we gonna see about that. But I do like what he brings, man. I really think he's really impactful, and even though we don't see it, um, a lot of the stuff in practice and just talking to these dudes outside of on road trips on the bus, on the plane, it really helps their development. And once again, big picture is this is 30 some games into the first real structure that a lot of these players have played in. And it just shows you how detrimental the Steven Silas and Stone, whatever they cooked up those first couple of years, and what Ime, the uphill battle he has to face. Now, y'all gotta. I know I be capping on. I talk about Ime sometimes, but you gotta give the dude credit, man. Like to have three guys in your starting lineup that just have to learn how to play together on a winning team context from scratch. To have the patience to like bench guys and put them back in, or sit there and watch guys make mistakes over and over again with the big picture in mind. I think he's been the perfect coach for this rebuild. He's not the best X and O's like when it comes to especially on offense, but I think he has the right temperament and that toughness, and he challenges them as men. And I think that in the long run is going to be something that benefits all the guys better going forward. And I think for Sengun especially, because I think Sengun, like he said, he wants to get coached hard. Yeah, this is the dude that is going to coach him hard. Like, I don't think it's a coincidence that we're seeing the best version of Sengun defensively under Coach Udoka because he doesn't tolerate that. So you just got to take the good with the bad for it. But let me get y'all's predictions for the game tomorrow. Ringleader, if you there, what you think? Give me. Are we winning or is it a blowout?
Nah. To be honest with you, you want to be technical, bro. Man, we getting smoked
Damn.
Dylan and without Dylan, bro. Perimeter defense, bro. We finna get towed up tomorrow, man. Man, that's why I'm glad we took this win, bro, because we can kind of like we
Take
won't
a
be too
breather.
sad. We won't be too sad about the loss tomorrow because that's like a game to where we feel like we. But today kind of like made it easy for us tomorrow. We lose, man. But other than that, y'all, we
Nah,
losing tomorrow.
he telling the
Ain't
truth.
no
I ain't gonna lie.
ain't no miracle happen tomorrow. We just might well forget about that. We just need to enjoy and just watch developing players,
Yeah,
bro. That's
facts.
it.
I ain't gonna front, man. We
What
were
you
saying
got?
the same thing about the Milwaukee game. One thing about these young guys, man, they see these guys that they was watching growing up, their eyes light up and they're like, oh, that's you or this is me. That's how they kind of come off to me. But I think they'll make it a fight early and the wheels will start to come off after like a comeback, like a big comeback. They make a big run in the fourth, and
Yeah.
then they just gonna get tired. Them legs, guys like Fred gonna start jacking, and that's kind of when the wheels gonna fall off. But I give them until about the 10-minute mark in the fourth quarter before they start to unravel a little bit. But they'll make it a
If,
fight.
all right. Ringleader, go. One of y'all go and mute. There's an echo. I think that I think that we probably I think we likely lose. What I think if we did win, what it would look like would be a game that's close, and then we get in a dogfight with them where it's like how the Chicago game was, where they start trying to ISO against like Shangun and Fred pick and rolls. I think Jaylen needs to be efficient tomorrow for us to win. I think he needs to play good. If Tari comes back, like I told y'all in the post game, Coach Adoka said he kind of let the cat out the bag. He said because they asked him how do they see it like after a back to back. How do you see yourself having a chance? He said, "Well, we're going to rely on some of the guys that didn't play much in this game, and getting some guys back." So he that kind of tells me there's only unless is Jock Londale hurt. I don't know. Maybe I missed some,
Yeah,
but is he hurt
I don't know. I
or
don't.
he
I
just
don't
out
think
the
so. He was
rotation?
suited up this game, so I'm on the
Oh,
bench.
okay, good. Because I hope the guys ain't Jock, bro. Because if he said getting some guys back, there's only two guys that's really out. It's Tari and Dylan. So if one of them come back, I think that gives us. If Tari Eason plays, bro, we got a chance, bro. If both of them come back, I thought we could have beat. I think we could beat the Celtics if we had our full roster and our full team. I think the team that we have when we're full and whole could beat any team on any given night. Not saying we're the favorites, but to say that we don't have a chance, I would never believe that with the guys that we have because they just play a real brand of basketball. Like they're gonna make you take tough shots. The thing is, Boston can make tough shots, and they play as a team. They pass the ball. With that said, I think we lose. I think we probably get dusted tomorrow, coming off a back to back. So we'll see, man. If we get a guy, if Tari come back, it may be interesting. I hope Shangun. I think he can attack them. Porzingis is tall, but and he may give him fits, but I think the size thing. This is I haven't seen this Shangun versus Porzingis. You know what I mean? I haven't seen this version of him where he's kind of exercising some of his demons. I think we do struggle on guarding Jason Tatum. Mismatch nightmare for us. He's taller than all our wings, and then he can get to the basket. He can shoot the three. I think Jaylen Brown is going to punk some of our players with his strength. Porzingis is gonna like, it might get ugly, bro. I don't know. I keep
It it might. I was gonna ask you. I mean, you already kind of described it, but I was gonna kind of ask you, kind of go a little bit more in depth about the defensive matchups. Who you think gonna match up with who? How you think it's
okay.
gonna work?
Yeah, I think on our from us defending them, you probably put Fred on Holiday. Jalen's gonna be on White. Shangun obviously is depending on which lineup they go with. If they're starters, it'll be Porzingis. Shangun got to get him, or if you want to get cute, which I wouldn't recommend, you could try to put Shangun on like whoever the person in the corner is, and um, let Bari guard put Porzingis, so you could switch their screens and their pick and rolls. But to me, that's something that's break in case of emergency defense right there.
If they start
Um,
Horford, I can get with that. With that
yeah,
body,
if they start Horford, then you can hide him on Horford. But
yeah,
they'll just use Horford as the screener then. But
yeah,
Horford
because
is
it's
not
a
a
smarter
lob
team
threat.
over there.
Yeah, but Horford is not a lob threat. So I'm okay with Jason Tatum trying to ISO on Şengün.
Yeah,
Like I'm
yeah,
okay with
I'm all
that.
right with
Yeah,
that.
take as many pull up twos as you want, bro. I'm okay with that. I live with that. I'm scared with Şengün against players like Steph and like John Morant and like guys
But on
that could
wings,
Dame. On wings, I'm okay. Yeah, wings, he's fine.
ooh,
Yeah, he can guard him
ooh.
and Jabari can guard wings, bro.
Yeah, he Velcro
Like
on the wings, boy.
wings, you give Jabari or a tweener like a one of those like 4 or 5s. Like he gives them hell. But if it's Dame or Steph, yeah, they're gonna cook him like Ivy was tonight. Or if it's a big man in the post. But Jabari got to be on Tatum. But yeah, I put Bari on Tatum, um, Jalen on White, Fred on Holiday, Şengün on Porzingis, and then Jaylen Brown is going to be like Tate probably, and maybe they'll work each other out because Jaylen Brown can't dribble, Tate can't defend. They'll figure it out in between somewhere.
Man,
And
the guys I
yeah,
worry
bro.
about on the Celtics ain't even the starters too much because we don't do too bad of a job on them kind of guys. What we have a problem with is these boys that come off the bench or these
Oh my
movement
god,
shooters.
dude,
Peyton
they got a
Pritchard
couple of
and
them, bro.
Hauser,
Yeah,
boy,
bro.
they gonna have a field day. They gonna combine for like 12 threes by themselves.
Yeah,
That's the
I
problem
think
that we have.
that's where we're gonna lose if we get blown out. And honestly, if you look at the numbers, our starting five usually is a net. At worst, they'll be like even with the other team. It's the bench, bro. I know the bench has won us some games, but most of the nights our bench is bad lately, especially with Tari being out and Dylan being displaced. So I think the bench matchup is where Boston can probably put their bench isn't great, but like you said,
They got
they
shooters.
they got shooters and they run a smart offense that makes you have to think.
Yeah,
and follow, and because they drive and kick and they pass smart.
they're big
They're a
segments
veteran
screens
team,
too.
bro, and they're undefeated at home, bro. I don't see us beating them, bro. But if we do, man, we're gonna be on here. We're gonna be on here. But that's a smart team, man. They are who we're trying to be. The only thing I could say is watch out for Coach Udoka trying to pull some like, because I know he's playing the development stuff right now. If he wanted to, he could really dictate like what he wants and who he wants to play. And I think tomorrow, if he doesn't play a developmental game, you'll get to see behind the scenes of what he really thinks the team should look like. So that means he possibly benching Jaylen Green if he's struggling, and spamming a lot of Alperen and Fred, or even bringing in. See, even Jeff Green being hurt is gonna be a thing. So games like this, I think I know he said it's just another game for him, but I know he wants to win. So we'll see. But I definitely think Jaylen has to be efficient. Sengun has to start from the tip off, attack Porzingis, because Porzingis is the X factor. That man gives so much, because when he
Yeah,
screens,
matchup problem, man.
just everywhere, bro. He's
Man,
tall. Like you can't close out on him because he's tall. He can pull up. He can hit the midi. He can do the lobs. If you can get him out the game, the Celtics usually dissolve down to a lot of Tatum and Brown ISOs. And if you can get Porzingis, because a lot of teams don't have a Sengun that gets your big man out of there. Like that's such a rare. Embiid do it, Jokic do it. I think that's pretty much it. Most of the other great centers are just great in different aspects. But as far as offensively gifted players that can attack you in isolation and force your big man to like kind of hesitate, like, so I think getting Porzingis out of there is going to be a thing. But then you get him out of there, you bringing in Al Horford. So yeah, man, they're a good team, bro. I think we're gonna take an L. If we win, bro, like yeah, I'll definitely be on here. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll give him a puncher's chance. Just that the puncher is probably like a 6-year-old girl. To
please,
knock
please,
to knock
please,
out
my
to
dog.
knock out the Celtics at home. But man, appreciate you. You got to come up more, dog. You be hiding, man. You got to come up, man.
Man,
I know
family,
you be wanting
man.
to talk. You got to come up more.
Yeah, I be coming up when I can, man. Whenever I can, I try to make it. I'm going to my gym session a little bit late, trying to stay up and talk some ball, man.
Nah, appreciate you coming through. Appreciate ringleader. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down. Yeah, man, we got Texans tomorrow, man. Yeah, that's gonna be exciting, man. If I'm gonna try to watch both. I think let me see, what time the Texans playing tonight? Is it a primetime game?
Let me look right quick.
Let me look. I'm gonna look too. Y'all let me know in the chat what time the game.
Oh,
For the
they at
Texans.
3:30. They at 3:30
perfect.
p.m.
Oh yeah, tomorrow gonna be a nice day. I'm gonna barbecue in the morning. Then I'm gonna watch the game, get me some brews, watch the game with the Texans. Then go on 6 o'clock, watch them Rockets. Man, hopefully the Rockets. If we can do what we did last week, where we get both dubs, because we beat the Bucks and the Texans won. So I'd love to have a Saturday night like that. So yeah, man, appreciate you for coming up, dog. Appreciate it. Shout out to all the
Appreciate you for
CSG.
having me, man.
Yes, sir. We're gonna go ahead and shut this down, man. Appreciate y'all. Go Rockets. Go